you never think that Mathieu van der Poel is going to go at kilometer 0.
With a teammate.
With a teammate. I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah, I think he shocked the whole peloton so much so that they didn't even react. They probably thought he was joking. Like, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
Before they knew it, he's got 4 or 5 minutes. You can't give a guy like Mathieu van der Poel 4 or 5 minutes with a teammate because you know they're going to go all in, riding together efficiently, getting feeds from the cars all day long. Being a hot day, it's a huge advantage. Yep. They got caught at the end, but it made for a very, very exciting stage.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move Podcast, talking about stage 9. Alan, what did we do?
Stage 9, from Chinon to Châteauroux, from Chinon to Châteauroux.
Otherwise known as Mark Cavendish's town. Apparently, they have also they've given him co-billing on that. But before I want to show a picture, I snapped a picture of the coverage earlier. But joined by Sir Bradley Wiggins, Mr. George Hincapie. Also, yet another day without the famous cowboy hat, right? That he had to take a lien on his house to buy here in Aspen, Colorado.
I'll remember it one of these days.
And it's coming. And the professor, Spencer Martin.
I did want to mention that was Cavendish's first Tour de France win. I was there with him. I helped lead him out for that win. Really exciting. We were new Team Columbia, small team, and boom, wins this stage of the Tour de France.
Now let's look at. I mean, this is amazing. Now I'm assuming this is up year round, right? What do you reckon? Do you reckon they put it up for the stage today? Because
it doesn't look like the same material as the top one. Sort of perspex, something like that, cardboard.
It does look a little. You're right on that. You're right. Nonetheless, that's pretty sick.
That is awesome.
That's great.
There was once a town, I did Ragbri many times, but there was a town called Armstrong, or something like that. And so I took a picture of that. I thought that was cool.
Where's that?
So Mark Cavendish can eat his heart out. Have a little town in Iowa.
Iowa.
Where is Iowa? Is that what
no, I was going to say, I thought it was in Massachusetts, Armstrong, Massachusetts.
I'm sure there's an Armstrong in every state. Anyways, fantastic win by Tim Merlier, his second stage win. Congratulations, Johan Brunel. You got one right on outcomes. Spencer, you have been unseated for the day.
I know.
I fired him up yesterday on our show.
Oh, he was not.
I went all Americana.
I was really. I kind of got sick of that back and forth on the group chat.
We even side texted Johan and I. We made up. We're boys again.
It was getting heated, and for a minute I thought, we may have to bring in a counselor, some sort of therapist here on the team.
HR. Where's our HR department?
So, I know we were at dinner last night, and of course, Bradley and I are non-consumers of ethanol in some form or fashion. And we're happy about that. But you were going. I mean, is this thing getting all? You were hammering the vino.
I didn't even see you, but I slept like a baby.
Oh my God, same here. I had a great sleep also.
Yeah, I slept the best I've slept in months.
Would it have to do with this? What is this? The Dream Shot? Because Matt from the feed gave us a shot of this, and it's interesting. I've been a great sleeper my whole life. My wife is one of the worst sleepers ever, and so I'm always interested in these sleep hacks. But he gave me this shot of this stuff, and you guys apparently took it and slept like babies.
Yeah, Matt came up with it to try to fix his own sleeping problems, and like you said, it's called a Dream Shot, and I'm highly impressed with it.
You seem rested.
I am. Best sleep I've had this whole Tour de France. And today is the official day we're launching this product, the world premiere for this product. You heard it first on The Move.
So as I get older, and most people who get older, it's harder and harder for them to sleep. And I live with a person who struggles with sleep. Yeah, it's great. It's got tart cherry in there, which we see the guys drinking every day. You started drinking that in Tour de France a long time ago. Magnesium, which we all know helps with sleep. Secret new peptide that stops you from waking up, and if you do, you fall right back asleep.
Tade's using it. Jonas is using it at the Tour. Great stuff.
Really?
Yeah. It helps with reduced inflammation.
Well, they're using tart cherry, though.
Yeah, tart cherry. Yeah, that's what they're using. And this is one of the main products in here.
Yep.
Ingredients.
Wow. So what I think you'll notice is that, and this does happen with me. This is what happens when you get to be 54 and you don't drink alcohol anymore and you hydrate a lot. You get up a lot. This is now we're getting into sensitive territory. You get up a lot, take a leak a lot. It's a little weird, but you're taking one of those.
Oh, yeah. So I'm taking these. Yeah, I had one last night. Great.
Yeah. It's available today. You heard it first on the move. A better morning for $3.99. $3.99. I pay whatever to sleep well at night.
That's nothing.
And listeners today save 20%. No code needed. The discount is automatic. Go to thefeed.com.
I mean, that's a game changer. Sleep. Yeah. This is a true fact. 50% of Americans struggle with sleep. 50%. Think about that. Think about that in terms of that's a I wouldn't call it an epidemic, but that is a major issue. I know that when I get behind, now we're just riffing. When I get behind on sleep, I'm a different person.
Yeah.
And it's going up all the time. They reckon next year's going to be 55.
Come on. And you know what else? Speaking of the feed, hey, don't forget to feed the animals. I got to say, I like that. I fucking trucking. I love those hits. I love those spots.
Great. Yeah.
Also today brought to you by Timeline. As someone who's trained hard most of his life, I've learned that real performance doesn't just come from the gym. It starts at the cellular level. That's why I take MitoPure by Timeline. It's a supplement that supports cellular energy by helping your body renew its mitochondria, those tiny little powerhouses inside your cells that start to slow down as you age. I'm a little insecure about highlighting my age as much as I am. The science is strong. MitoPure is clinically shown to improve muscle strength in just a few months, and it supports healthy aging at the cellular level, which is something I care more about each and every year. If you want to stay strong and support your body at its foundation, go check out MitoPure. Head on over to timeline.com/themove. That is timeline.com/themove. Get 20% off for our listeners. Timeline.com/themove. Last one here for a sec. Also today brought to you by Roka. Of course, if you're watching the show, you can see it. I'm rocking my Roka readers. What did we decide these were? What? At least these are the what's?
2 O's?
No, we're not talking about the strength anymore. Oh. The Lockharts. These are the Lockharts. This is the Roka Lockhart.
And these are the Havanas, which you've been trying to steal from me since I got here.
Yeah. And sidebar. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would actually think you're from Havana a lot of times. Huh?
Close?
You're going to Google. You're going to Google. You know
I got no comment.
Isn't that from Scarface or something?
Goonie Goo Goo? Yeah. No, that's from the Goonies, I think.
Bro, get out of here. Back to Roka. Their prescription glasses have the exact same technology as their performance glasses. They are unbelievably lightweight, the best optics on the market. They never slip. No matter how sweaty you get, they are hand built to order in my hometown of Austin, Texas. For once, you don't have to compromise on performance or style. And the way they build them, you can pick anything you like and know that they work for marathons, workouts, trail running, high rocks, whatever you're into. You're gonna go. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roka.com. That's ROKA, Roka.com. Enter the code THEMOVE at checkout. What a stage. What a stage. I mean, I listen, we're going to get into the stage, but I just have to set this up because I woke up behind today. I was on just off. All right. So I had this golf thing last few days, rallied yesterday. Anyways, don't want to talk about that. Olivia, my daughter, came home from summer camp last night. Very excited to see her. She had this allergy thing break out. So we're a little freaked out by that. And then we're sitting at home and the power went out. Like all the power in the house. Dark, pitch black, couldn't see anything. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And it never came back on. So we were all just like, well, I guess we'll go to sleep.
What time was that?
That was at about 10:30, which was the time to go to bed anyways. But so I was a little thrown off. Now, another just personal opinion on this. This is how they get us, right? We all think about bombs and missiles and guns. No. It's the power source, the power grid. That's how they get us. No communication, no light.
Bro, why are you going so dark here?
I don't know, because I was talking about how I woke up. Where I was going with this was that when I got up this morning, groggy, I wake up to Vanderpool and his teammate off the front, flying 5-minute gap. And then I start to watch, and they apparently went at kilometer 0, which is a move that, this is a Jackie Duran move, right? Jackie Duran kilometer zero, he would start. We all know where kilometer zero is. You kind of start to see it, and he would take a run on the peloton just to get a gap, and people would let him go. You never think that Mathieu van der Poel is going to go at kilometer zero.
With a teammate.
With a teammate. I didn't know what I was watching.
Yeah, I think he shocked the whole peloton so much so that they didn't even react. They probably thought he was joking. Like, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
Before they knew it, he's got 4 or 5 minutes. You can't give a guy like Mathieu van der Poel 4 or 5 minutes with a teammate because you know they're going to go all in, riding together efficiently, getting feeds from the cars all day long. Being a hot day, it's a huge advantage. Yep. They got caught at the end, but it made for a very, very exciting stage.
Very exciting.
Yeah. There was some discussion on the commentary that I was watching that he did it in retaliation for the move that Milan pulled on him yesterday, where Milan lost 10 points, was it, on the points competition? And that was his retaliation. That was what Italian commentary was saying today, that was a way of going out and taking the points at the intermediate and then carrying on after that. But I don't know how true that is. I mean, it's very difficult to... I mean, that's one hell of an effort if it was a retaliation.
That's a hell of an effort. For a guy who we remarked has been giving his all and looking tired.
I mean, what a week he's had.
What a week.
That's already two stages where he was in the breakaway essentially from kilometer zero.
Yeah.
Those efforts, take it out of you. That's for sure.
It doesn't matter how much of a beast you are, that adds up. But so what is the retaliation? To take the intermediate points or to...
I don't know, Spencer, what do you think?
Final?
Yeah, I think the thinking was, and I think you got to be maybe a little thicker skin than this if you're Alpecin, but they get bumped in the sprint. Milan loses 10 points in the green jersey classification. Maybe that matters, maybe not. I guess the thought is we're going to go in the break. Little Trek, they were confused. If you could listen to the comms, they didn't know what was going on. Like they were just like, okay, guys, watch. We don't really understand what's going on here. Takes the intermediate points. That's kind of a little bit of a finger in the eye. But then I guess they made Little Trek burn their whole lead out, chasing them down. And then like Soudal, we didn't really see Soudal Quickstep working that much. They're sitting back. Guess it didn't matter because there was no lead out anyway for Merlier. But then Merlier wins because Milan's burned his lead out. Yeah. And I guess that's the retaliation. Does that seem a little like, I don't know, if you guys ever met Christoph Rudhoff, the manager of Alpecin, pretty calculating guy. That's where this loses me a little bit.
Yeah. And Johan is chiming in on the group chat because he's watching the show live. Retaliation is not true. Van der Poel said that Milan had done nothing wrong yesterday. So who knows what to believe, but nonetheless, Herculean effort.
Yeah.
And one of those efforts, at first you're like, it's a real head scratcher. And then at the end, you're like, he drops it. The teammate gets dropped. He's all alone. And as is often the case in these sprint finishes, it's coming down to a kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. And you're just rooting for I personally was like, come on, bro. You got this. Anything, do something.
And funny, Van der Poel gets caught 1K to go. Rijkaard gets the most combative of the day, so his teammate. So Van der Poel has got a tough morning tomorrow on the tough stage. And it seems strange, doesn't it, to think what he's gained from that, other than the potential of a stage win. But was it ever going to happen? I mean, it was a long, tall order to think he could stay out there for the whole stage.
A lot of things could have happened where he might have had a chance.
That's right.
I think we saw some random teams go up there and start pulling. We don't know if it was just to stay in the front to get, be safe from the crosswinds or just to try to go for the win, which they had very little chance of that. But all of those factors ultimately leaded to him getting caught at the end. I mean, if it was just Lidl Trek doing the work for like we saw for a while, they probably wouldn't have caught him.
It is one of the most common questions I get from the average person who just watches cycling really in July. It's a top 3 question. Like, how is it that this breakaway goes and that they always catch them right at the end? I get that question a lot, and it happens a lot. I guess at the end of the day, it's just a math equation, right? You're knowing, and you're factoring in other things. They knew that the last kilometer or two net was slightly uphill. It's going to be virtually impossible for a solo rider. Doesn't matter who you are, but they just start to calculate the time. And generally speaking, they work off 10 seconds a kilometer.
Yes, I always thought it was a minute a kilometer. Particularly in that last 15, 20, depending how many are in the front.
That's the X factor there is Mathieu van der Poel. Even you saw Tim Merlier's interview. He's like, you give a guy like that 5 minutes, you don't know what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
Made it very stressful, very hard day for the peloton, obviously for Van der Poel as well. But this was a much harder day than I think people anticipated.
Yeah,
absolutely. Modern equipment's changed that calculus too, because now a solo rider can go closer to the speed of a peloton than they used to be able to go, and that's what you don't see the big gaps very much anymore. People hold them close.
A couple of things do stand out. George, you will be happy to know Quinn Simmons did not do all the work.
Love it.
for
I
Little
know.
Trek.
I was
so
happy to-
I don't know if those folks over there at Little Trek watched the show and got a full taste of your ire, but he did not have to do all the work. So I hope you feel better about that today.
I do.
Rattled some cages over there.
Second thing, Tim Merlier, second stage win, third for Soudal Quickstep. We yesterday we were sort of talking about a house of horrors there. Hey, 3 stage wins. A rider sitting second on GC.
White jersey competition.
White jersey.
Yeah. And as a nation, they had 3 in the top 10 today. They got the King of the Mountains competition. They're wearing that with Tim Wellens. So they're not doing too bad, are they?
No.
Yeah. What do we call them? The best, worst team in sport?
Yeah.
So quick step. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they always come through in the Tour de France. I mean, even if they had, like we said this year, the classics were not great for them, but when you don't see them win a stage of the Tour de France, it's very, very rare.
Yeah, and the other thing we've seen the last quite a few years is now we've done 9 stages. You have 3 teams have won 7 of those 9 stages, and then the 2 outliers are EF and Lidl Trek. But where did we have it at? So UAE has won 2, Alpecin has won 2, and now Soudal Quickstep has won 3. Again, team we were sort of writing off yesterday has got the most stage wins of this Tour de France. Merlier was pooped at the finish. His finish, maybe that's the way he chills and that's his vibe. I was like, bro,
It's wild.
second stage win. Come on.
It's wild watching these sprints. We haven't seen sprints like this in Tour de France in a long time, where the favorites are on their own. The last
their
2K,
own, yeah.
totally on their own, bumping and grinding, quacking. A lot of that has to do with Philipsen being gone. Obviously, if he was still in the race, you'd have Van der Poel and a couple guys with him. But man, to see Milan totally alone, Merlier totally alone, it makes it for an even more exciting sprint, I think, because you don't really know. There's no dominance in sprint in the lead outs with these guys thus far. So it's making it really interesting.
The one that surprised me was the loss of Wout van Aert. You know, that was the ideal conditions for him, but is that with a view to tomorrow? I don't know.
The loss.
Did you?
Well, he got dropped, didn't he? In the final?
Well, he did most of the work
Yeah.
to try to split the peloton there,
Yeah.
which again, you got to start questioning, like, why are you guys using so much energy on these insignificant attacks? Maybe they thought it would have made more damage. Maybe they wanted to isolate Pogačar, but on a flat stage like that, on a transition stage, so to speak, right before a really tough stage tomorrow. I don't love seeing them burning so many matches all the time.
Jonas was pulling.
Yeah, and Jonas was pulling.
Well, there was a moment where Wout was caught out.
Yeah.
At least what I saw on TV, which for a guy like him, caught out in the crosswinds, and he gave it full wheelie
Yeah.
to get across to that front group.
Yeah.
This should be second nature.
Bradley asked, so when Visma's doing this in the crosswinds, who are they trying to catch out? Is it Pogačar?
That's a great question.
Well, I think they're trying to isolate Pogačar. They probably know they can't. But even if you do, I mean, if you're a group of 20 guys, like, you're not going to drop Pogačar on a flat road. No.
He's like one of the best classics riders in the world.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, no, yeah, you got to get up
Because they were going all
real early to catch him out. That's just.
But Jonas was on the front again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At one point.
it's not just the teams burning matches. Jonas is burning matches.
Yeah.
I don't
This
fully get it.
is a different sport. It's a different dynamic, but if we do want to touch on Tade and quote unquote getting him or catching him out, Almeida out of the race, right? His best lieutenant, his best climber, Spencer. You've been on record, the 3rd best stage racer in the world, in your opinion, crashed a couple of days ago. Had a broken rib. Who knows if that's a rib or ribs? Doesn't matter. For anybody that's ever broken ribs, it's a weird injury. I mean, that first day you're like, oh, this is a little sore. Day 2, you cannot laugh, you cannot breathe, you cannot cough, you cannot sleep, and oftentimes it hurts depending if you're eating. Everything hurts, and then you go to the doctor. You break something, you go to the doctor, say, hey, doc, fix this. You break a rib or 2, you go to the doctor, and he's like, time.
Yeah.
It's just going to take time. It's an awful injury, and we saw him pull out today. That might be the biggest, when you're talking about the overall tour and the GC and the yellow jersey, that might be the biggest story.
The podium, because he was a contender for the podium.
Certainly could have. That might be the biggest story of the stage.
Similar to last year, actually. Remember they lost Juan Ayuso in the first week, and they were down on climbing Domestique.
Yeah.
So oddly, now we're like back to a similar situation a year later.
But let's not forget about Simon Yates, Mathieu Jorgensen, Sepp Kuss.
You talking about the podium, or you
I'm talking about like the three
Visma's stronger this
world-class
year.
climbers that Jonas has in his back pocket.
This has the ability to affect the race.
Yeah,
But I don't blame him. Ribs suck.
yeah.
Yeah.
Time. Nobody wants to hear that. All right, we're going to take a quick peacock break. We'll be back in 2:32. All right, and we're back. A couple of things. Special treat today for our audio listeners and YouTube viewers. The CEO of Ketone IQ, Michael Brandt's going to come on, and I'm really curious about some of this research they're doing. So that will be towards the tail end of the show for those participants. Another update. The team back here behind the curtain has corrected me. I don't know what I was thinking. Goony goo goo.
Where did that come from?
I know. It apparently. I told you, all right, and I was looking for a little sympathy. I'm off a little today, but I thought it was from Scarface. No, it's from an Eddie Murphy stand-up, you goony goo goo. I mean, how do I go from Eddie Murphy stand-up to Scarface?
And how did you go from saying I'm from Havana and calling me Goony Goo Goo? Those don't relate at all.
Well, I guess Scarface is from
I thought
Atlanta.
because Scarface is kind of like a Cuban Latin. I don't know.
By the way, isn't there a new Scarface coming out? I thought I read somewhere.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I mean, they remake a bunch of great old movies. That would be a good one.
Yeah. I actually thought of something last night. You know how the man dumped me 2 days ago, said he's never going to ride a bike with me again. And it kind of
That's a
really,
fact.
really hurt my feelings. But the reasoning behind it, he said I was half-wheeling him. So for the viewers out there, hopefully most of you guys know what half-wheeling is. You ride half a wheel in front of somebody else. It's quite annoying. But with Mr. Lance Armstrong, half-wheeling means, in his mind, which I can't understand, if you're not a half-wheel behind him and you are equal to him, you are half-wheeling him. That's Lance Armstrong's half-wheeling, y'all. He's made up a whole new version of, I'm not kidding, it's true. He's made up a whole new version of half-wheeling. I mean, Bradley and I were discussing this at dinner last night. You have your own version of half-wheeling. It's not fair. I need another chance.
Is this another one of these things where you're in cahoots with the team back here and you've got some photo that you've doctored up and you say, oh, look, see, Exhibit A. Is this, look, you ride a lot. I don't, nor do you, Bradley. So we're done. Like we're gym rats. You know, we're training for later in life. Huh?
We've let it go.
Got it.
We've let it go.
It was just a bad day. I felt bad. I was on my gravel bike. I didn't think that mattered. I now actually think it does matter, right? So I might walk it back. I might ride it again, but I'm going to need a little more time in the saddle. Let's see. We do have some fun questions here towards the end. This is one, and as George, George has two screens on the desk. He's got his computer, which is probably what he should have for the job that we're doing. But if you're watching, you see he has another screen, right? And that would be him watching the Wimbledon final. And now that I say this, I am a little curious. This is a rematch of the French Open.
Yeah, rematch of the French Open.
These boys are beasts, right? Sinner and Alcaraz. How we doing?
It's shaping up to be similar. I mean, they're Alcaraz is up 5-4, and they're 40-40, and Sinner's on serve. So
Tight.
he's about to hopefully tie that. It's going to be probably another 4 or 5 hour match.
Speaking of shaping up, I believe it was in the preview show because we touched on prize money, and we touched on prize money for the overall classification for the Tour de France, and we just sort of scratched our heads and thought, well, that had really. I won the race in 2005. It was roughly right around 500,000 euros, dollars, and this year is maybe 550,000, right?
For the win.
For the overall win, and of course, this is cycling and we're gonna have a little discussion around, and we're gonna compare cycling. We're gonna use the three big events in the month of July: the Tour de France, Wimbledon, and the Open Championship, which this year is at Royal Portrush or Port whatever, one of those. And so I just think it's a fun discussion, and it highlights how we just haven't evolved when it comes to prize money. Prize money matters. right? And despite the fact that in cycling, it is very traditional, the winner of the Tour doesn't take a cut. He gives all the money to his team. That's neither here nor there. The prize money, they should all be in line. So just, right, we've said the Tour really hasn't changed. I think you saw a chart that said it.
Yeah, I think we're going to pull up the graph, which actually I just need to shout out the person who sent it to me.
But we'll just use some, I'll just lay these out there for you. So I just told you, win the race in 2005, roughly 500,000, basically the same today. If we just talk about the Open Championships, which of course is a golf event, which starts this Thursday. Tiger Woods won the Open Championship in 2005. He won 720,000. It's probably pounds that Wikipedia is not telling me here, but just call it 720. Right. The winner of the Open Championship last year, Xander Schauffele, 3.1 million pounds. Right. So we're talking 4+X. They don't have the prize money listed for this year. If you jump on over here to Wimbledon.
Oh, there's the graph, yeah.
The prize money in 2005 for Wimbledon was 630,000 pounds. The prize money for Wimbledon this year, which will be decided today, is 3 million pounds. All right, so almost 5x, or close to 5x. Now, what are we doing?
That graph, by the way, was from Stuart Niche, who wrote a really good article on the same subject.
Shout out Stuart.
The sport is not getting smaller.
On Substack.
On Substack.
In the pre-show, George's like, y'all ever heard of this Substack guy? That's what he said.
You misunderstood me.
No, he's like,
y'all misunderstood me.
Yo, this dude.
Anyway, the sport is not getting smaller; it's getting bigger, and the riders should be getting paid.
But
by the way, Tour de France prize money for our viewers out there, it's sort of insignificant for the guy who actually wins the race, like y'all did, because you never take a piece of it. You always just give your share to the team and the staff, or as a thank you for all the hard work. And then you told an interesting story before.
Yeah. So in 2012, obviously, I won Paris-Nice, the Dauphiné, and the Tour de France, all in France that year, plus the stage wins that we won in those races as a team and myself. So the prize money gets designated to me. So it goes into a pot, which is run by the team, and a bank account, which is run by the team. But on paper, when I put my tax return in, it comes to me. That's the prize money I've won in France. Right. So I had a French tax bill that year for 2012, based on the figures that were deemed to come to me.
Your name was on the check.
Yeah. So I didn't get a split of any of the prize money.
50%, right?
Well, it's 50% UK tax, but French tax bill, I had to pay a UK tax bill because that was deemed as income, which comes from a UK bank account. And French tax bill.
That's what we in the bike world call flicked.
You didn't call the boys and pass the hat and say, hey, boys.
No, it's just the way it is. And I know all the guys that live in Monaco, sort of 10 years ago, certainly were riding for Sky, had some tax issues in France because they train every day in France, even though they live in Monaco. So it's deemed a work day in France.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it cost you money to win the Tour.
Might want to go the other way.
Pretty much.
You're not far from Italy. May want to take a right instead of a left.
But here's a question for you guys. So why is Wimbledon, I'm seeing in US dollars, 72.6 million total prize purse, Tour de France 2.9 US.
Yeah.
But why is Wimbledon increasing the prize money? It's probably not because they're nice, right? And they're like, hey, we really want these players to be rich. They're probably doing it because there's competitive pressure from other major tournaments. There's no pressure in cycling.
And a stronger union.
And there's a players union.
Yeah.
Right. And they are asking for those things. And most importantly in this discussion, and it was just about damn time when it happened, is equal prize money for men and women. And as we've seen I do have to point out, same prize money, men and women in Wimbledon. The American lost, unfortunately, yesterday in straight sets. It took 54 minutes. So this young lady who won, I don't even know who won because I don't follow tennis. She made $4 million an hour. That's a pretty good hourly rate. But they have unions and they have representatives and people that say to the events, the organizers, whoever say, no, we care about this. In cycling, there's nobody that says, hey, this is a joke.
But ASO,
their profits have gone up
Well,
significantly.
if they don't come to an agreement with Wimbledon, Wimbledon knows they won't show up. ASO knows no one is going to not show up to the Tour.
They have the power. Yeah.
But why? So let's get creative here. If I'm Piff and I want to make a splash in cycling, why not just buy the Giro, move the Giro to the Tour slot, $20 million to start the Giro d'Italia? Like then we're talking pressure. on ASO, and then you force ASO to sell to you.
Jeez, the outcome
take
fund is
over.
just branching out. We're buying Giros
that's
now.
like basically what
How much
Liv
money
did
did you
on
make the last
PGA.
week? 20 million. Let's go. I'll make a comeback for
20
that.
million a rider. I mean, but you'd have like Pogacar, Vindigo, all at the Giro.
I don't know if you would.
You don't think if you
we
paid
need some big
know if you would.
big power, big horsepower to come in for something like that.
But that's
to
a
happen.
shame for the sport, then, isn't
It
it?
is.
And the traditions of the sport.
Well, that's what happened with Liv and PGA, right?
Yeah. And it's potentially happened in cycling, or at least trying to happen from the rumors we are hearing.
It's vulnerable. It's like a sick body.
Yeah.
Like someone could come in and really make some trouble and ruin the tradition, I guess.
Well, it's happened in boxing. Dana White has done it and gone off with Turkey Al Sheikh in Saudi, and they've created a new belt for boxing and took it away from Eddie Hearn and Matchroom in the UK. And it's
That's quite the character, that guy.
no, but it's.
I mean, like you said, if they show up with the money, riders, I think will go that route.
I don't know. I think we can sit here and talk about the tour. Look, the tour has a lock. It has a lock on the riders. It has a lock on our imaginations, and that's real. It just is, and we can. I don't think that. I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, well, all the greats we're going to run an event at the same time, and you're going to get these people because the money is there. And the only thing the Tour de France is going to get is a bunch of French teams and a bunch of sort of B and C teams. I think you'd be surprised. I think Tadej Pogacar says, no, this is I know what I would have done, right? You're in a position like, well, I'm making plenty of money. And this is the only bike race I knew growing up. I'm not going to go. I think you'd be surprised.
But you only have to make ASO bleed, basically. So even if they have to pay a bunch of money to get the secondary riders, then they're unprofitable.
I think the most important and significant thing you could do is just somehow, which has proved to be virtually impossible to do, is to bring them to the table. Say, okay, and I don't know that it has to come through threats. I don't know that it has to come through PIF or whoever else throwing money at the issue. There, at some point, it needs to be an adult conversation. It just says, listen, all right, here we are. And the numbers don't lie. Like this sport, I actually disagree with George that the sport is growing leaps and bounds. I actually don't think it is. And I think that it's setting itself up for a future of smaller and smaller viewership numbers. I don't think a younger audience 20 years from now is going to consume sports content like this. I think that adult conversation in an adult room needs to happen sooner than later, and say, listen, we could put ourselves out of business, all of us. That's my view.
Man, you're just like Debbie Downer today. Talking about like losing our power grid.
I'm Debbie
We're all going to
realistic.
be like, I mean, should we stop stocking up on food and shit?
It's funny. Anna got up this morning. She's like, "Oh, that was weird with the power." I'm gonna go back to this. I said, "Honey, this is how they get us. I'm just telling you."
That is true, by the way.
They're gonna cut off power and they're gonna cut off communication, and we're gonna freak the F out.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" I was like, "Well, we get a generator. We get Starlink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but." I digress. Today's show also brought to you by Ketone IQ. And as I said a second ago, really cool to have Michael Brandt here. Boy, they came on with a product that has changed the sports world and certainly changed this peloton. We see and hear about the prevalence of ketones very, very often in the sport. They've continued to up their game, changed the formulations a little bit, added caffeine, lots of new flavors. I had the new apple flavor this morning. It was rock and roll. Absolutely love it. There's not a day that goes by that I don't consume at least one shot of Ketone IQ. And what I want to talk to Michael about is some of these studies. You've heard me talk about it every day, where the numbers, like Jay-Z said, the numbers don't lie. And obviously the partnership with Team Visma, Lease a Bike. Take your shot. Get 30% off your subscription plus a free gift with your second shipment at ketone.com/TheMove. Ketone.com/TheMove. Last one of the day, it is, and you saw the boys today, even Vanderpool, boy, caked in sweat. Merlier, in his post-race interview, talking about the heat. The heat is coming on. This first 9 days have been
Filthy.
Yeah. Right? And the race kind of starts tomorrow. But the boys are getting hot. The boys are sweating. We're out here every day outside working out, sweating. Element is our go-to hydration source. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. No sugar, no gluten, no artificial ingredients, no BS. Hey, and best of all, if you don't like it, give it to a friend. And Element will refund you. Get a free 8-count sample pack of Element's most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinklmnt.com/themove. That's drinklmnt.com/themove. And be sure to try the Element Sparkling sitting here right here in front of us. Stay salty, my friends.
Quick note, my buddy Alan Gibson and Felix Stelmezek, I always mess up his last name. They're doing the tour a day before.
That's crazy.
And they rode tomorrow's stage today, and they said it is absolutely disgusting.
We're gonna
for anybody who's done my fundo, you've done it. They said it's twice as many vertical feet than my Grand Fundo, and they obviously they're just doing it for recreation and having fun. But they said it's horrible.
I didn't know Alan was doing it.
Felix
Felix sent me a note before that he was doing it, and somebody else came up to me recently and said if they have a friend doing it. And I said, that's harder than riding the Tour de France, because most of the time in the Tour, you're with 200 guys, and there's
it's way
plenty
harder,
of kilometers and miles where you're getting sucked along.
Jeff is out doing it again. Jeff Thomas.
You're out there alone.
Yeah, Jeff is out doing it.
Do you guys? I feel like we brushed over this. Do you know what so today was 174 kilometers, 3.5 hours, under 3.5 hours. Do you know what that average speed is?
Tell us, Spencer.
It's 31 miles an hour.
That's insane.
Spencer's been getting a lot. Spencer now has haterati also because of his criterium
I had to fight
comments.
my way into the studio.
So like he's got the haterati. He's joining our haterati club.
You can sue those people.
So Spencer, and you said it again today. You said it again because my criterium friends are listening. That the first hour of these races are faster than most criteriums, and maybe the average speed of today is just as fast or faster than an hour-long criterium.
Why are you going to say that, Spencer?
For my personal experience, I went back to files yesterday of high-level crits that I've done, and my average speed. And this was a long time ago. Maybe they're going 37 miles an hour now, but today's average speed was higher than a lot of crits, and it's a full race. But think about that: like Vanderpoel's out there by himself, or with one teammate doing that, not on a time trial bike. Do you know how heavy Jonas Rickard is? His teammate.
80 kilos?
88 kilos.
88.
How do you think he's going to feel tomorrow?
Tomorrow, baby.
Yeah.
He's gonna be out of the race tomorrow.
He could be outside of the
he's
time.
gonna be out of the race.
Yeah. So, but that brings me back. I still can't fully understand this decision.
The race is so hard tomorrow that a gruppetto is going to form pretty early on. They're going to stick together like a band of brothers.
They better ride
and get to the finish line.
They better ride really hard. This is. But I want to go back. I can't believe. Wait. The professor has haters. I mean, this is the
professor's got haters.
I think it was
listen.
I'm going to kick
hold on
his ass.
Hold on a second. Whether you're a lover or a hater, I don't really care. I don't. But Spencer's one of the nicest guys in the world. That's the worst thing I've heard. That's worse than my power going.
So am I. I got haters.
He's a lot nicer than you do it. Yeah, but anyways,
I think the team would say I am just as nice as Spencer. They would certainly say that you're not as nice as anybody on the show.
Get some trivia. Who's nicer, George or Spencer?
See you in the courtroom.
You know what? Yeah, you guys keep this shit up. Okay, I played yesterday with a really prominent trial lawyer out of Houston. Let me tell you something. This boy's not afraid of anything. So any more mean tweets? I'm queuing up daily. This lawyer, and we're coming with the heat of 1,000 suns. I promise you. The damages. I mean, you guys are losing sleep.
Yeah.
So that's money, right? All right, this is big.
Yeah.
Just ask Cofidis. You get to do this. All right, steal all our bikes. We don't care.
Yeah, we're coming.
A couple mean tweets? Nuh-uh. Johnny Cochran's coming back. Yeah, I'm going to go find Johnny Cochran.
Hey, bigger than OJ.
Jesus. Shall we, before we get to the Ventum Daily Trivia, let's just, because we talked about it a second, let's look at tomorrow's stage. And it's hard. I can't even hardly look at it. Oh, no. All right. And what strikes me here, and just follow me here on this for a second, guys. Obviously, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categorized climbs. Yeah. Most of those category 2, which we all know, category 2 climbs.
Yeah, but they're all 7%.
They're all there,
7%,
and it never ends.
6K.
This stage, as you see at the top, 4,450 meters. That is, if you think in feet, that's well over 15,000 vertical feet of climbing. Now, to take it a step further, it's in 165 kilometers.
Yeah.
Now, if the World Championships was 15,000 feet of climbing, you would say, "Oh my Lord, that's impossible." But that would be in 265 kilometers. So you have all of that climbing in a truly and relatively short stage.
I think we should go back to it because I
let's
kind of
go,
want to break down in percentages what the peloton, how they're seeing this stage. 50% of the peloton are going, "Oh my God, I don't know if I can survive this, and I'm just going to pray and try to hang on." 25% are going, "This is an ideal day for me to make a breakaway. I'm going to, go from that." But you got to go from the first climb. These days, you got to go from kilometer zero, essentially. And then the rest, 25%, are just holding on to their top 15, top 20 GC spot of the Tour de France. So it's just going to make for wildly aggressive racing. And just, I think it's going to be the most interesting day of the Tour de France thus far.
I will be up early for this one. I have a question for you.
Will you respond to my text messages then? Or not?
I have a question for you. And this just goes to your point a few days ago, Bradley, of the weighting of weight, like the points of the green jersey competition. Go back to that for a sec, will you, Gabriel? Does Girmay, and we've also talked about how Milan is decent over the climbs, but does Girmay make a play here to try to shed Milan just to get, because if you get him dropped.
I think it's going to be a different ball game tomorrow. I don't think those guys are going to be in with a shout in that first sprint. I think it's going to be
really,
on.
yeah,
no,
it's going to be on. And Girmay is not. He doesn't seem as good as he was a couple years ago.
No.
I think he's in survival mode. Milan's in survival mode.
Who's a better climber, Girmay or Milan?
I mean, Milan's made it over the freaking Cipressa in the Milan San Remo, the Poggio. The guy can climb.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got mad power. But this is going to be a whole different story here.
And I don't know if we have the final. I mean, this is the final climb to the finish. So I mean, this is after 15,000 feet of climbing.
It's got Tadej written all over it.
It has Tadej written all over it by a mile.
But it's fair to say Visma are now in a stronger position as a team.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting, particularly with Almeida gone now.
Yeah.
I have a bad prediction.
Uh-oh.
This is from someone who watches a lot of cycling, gets very excited for stages like this. I kind of am worried it's going to be boring. Like Breakaway, we wake up, Breakaway's gone. They're just hard pacing in the peloton.
Wait,
But who's going to be hard pacing? UAE?
Visma. Because Visma thinks that if they hard pace, Tadej will get worse. Whether that's true or not, I guess, is up for debate. But that's what they think clearly.
I mean, in my opinion, if they hard pace, they're pacing for Tadej.
That's what I think.
Right.
So I don't think they should do that. I think they got to.
You call me Debbie Downer? I mean, that was.
I've gotten burned by so many stages like this.
That was dark.
Sorry.
We were all talking about.
It's going to be exciting.
We were talking about how excited we are for the stage tomorrow. And
Visma needs to be in a position where Tadej is on his own, and then they could start using Mathieu Jorgensen.
Well, but I was thinking about this on the way in this morning.
Or Sepp. Hopefully we see Sepp come tomorrow and be like, "Yo, Sepp's back, baby."
Well, you're going to get your answer tomorrow.
Yep,
We are. You're gonna on that question. You will get your answer tomorrow.
Do we have time for one quick?
Let's do it.
Let me rock the Ventum Daily Trivia. Yesterday, which rider holds the record for the most green jersey competitions in the history of the Tour de France? The answer to that is Peter Sagan. What a beast.
We all knew that.
What a beast. Stage 9 question. Again, this is the Ventum Daily Trivia question. Sir Mark Cavendish became the winningest rider in the history of the Tour last year with 35 wins. Why has Stage 9's finishing, we've talked about this, Stage 9's finishing town, Châteauroux, been dubbed Cavendish Town? Why? I mean, if you listen to the show, you know the answer to that. I'm going to have to nudge Dia over at Ventum. We got to get harder questions. I think they're just wanting to give stuff away, which I love. But even I know the answer to that.
We had a great dinner with Dia. He's in town right now. He's actually riding all 3 passes: the Indy, Maroon Bells, and Castle Creek this morning.
By the way, you guys were going to get Sir Mark Cavendish on the show today. I see that didn't
happen. We apologize. We'll keep working on it.
Working on
losing some
working on that.
pull.
We're working on that as we speak.
Working on it. All right, one question before we go.
Well, yeah, in lieu of Mark Cavendish, we have a question from Joe. Why is it so important for Tadej and Jonas to have teammates in the mountains? If one of them is outnumbered, why can't they just surf or tag on the back of the other team?
Bradley?
George?
It's simple. The whole goal of that would be to, if they don't have a teammate and they have the other team has 3-4 guys, then they can start sending guys up the road, trying to get their GC. Like, for instance, if Visma had Jurgensen in there and Simon Yates and Sepp Kuss and Pogge's by himself, they're going to try to get Jurgensen to get up the road or one of those guys. The other two guys are not significant in the GC, but they're just going to be attacking the hell out of Pogačar, making him try to chase them down and try to just weaken them the only way they can. I mean,
And Tadej has to close them down because presumably they're not going to close their own teammates down.
And
Correct.
This is all fine and good on paper.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with Tadej Pogačar. I mean, he's a proud guy. He's super tough. He's going to read all the articles and hear all the comments about losing Almeida and how that's. We're talking about it. He's going to hear things like that. He's going to say, "Okay,
and we
hey, watch it. Why don't you watch this?"
Exactly. Well, we witnessed
a
one of the
little
most
something for you.
exciting stages of the Tour de France a couple of years ago in the Galibier, when you got Primoz Roglic, you got Jonas attacking full gas, and then they finally cracked Pogačar.
Yeah,
I think
if
y'all
you
remember that.
Yeah.
want an answer to that question, you should go watch that stage.
Yes,
because it's
watch that stage.
a perfect example.
And there, Visma remembers that, and their goal is probably to try to do something similar.
All right. Well, get up early tomorrow. It's going to start. I guess it's a longer stage. I mean, it's not long kilometers.
Did we mention it's Bastille
and it's
Day?
also Bastille Day. So I don't. It's a special day for the French riders. Vauquelin maybe somewhere around there, but other than that, nope. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fireworks,
Last French rider.
which
to
it
win.
should be. Think about that, fireworks.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do in France. I should know.
And who are the French favorites for tomorrow, Spencer?
Well, the problem is the
Vauquelin.
French have gotten too good.
Vauquelin, I like
But
it.
he won't go. He's GC.
No, but
No,
he's
HGC, but-
going to be milling around. It's a big day for him.
The race is so hard that even if Visma doesn't care about a breakaway or UAE doesn't care about a breakaway, they're going to have to ride hard because it's up and down all day. You got to stay in the front. So the teams are just going to be riding hard out of safety, which is going to keep the breakaway closer, which is going to have the peloton be able to smell blood near the end, and could arguably be a sprint amongst the GC riders tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Special treat for us. We're joined by Michael Brandt, CEO of Ketone IQ, as we talk about every day, our presenting sponsor each and every day here at The Move. Michael, seems like you got the tiger by the tail, right? We're seeing the brand everywhere. Obviously, it is very pervasive in cycling, which we love, but you're seeing it in other sports. I've been seeing a lot of content in and around John Jones. And people are catching on, right? I mean, look, and people ask me a lot too, like, does that really work? And I'm telling them, listen, this works, right? And I wouldn't put something in my mouth each and every day if I didn't think it worked. Fact.
We've been cooking.
Yeah.
I think about it a lot in the same way that Gatorade brought electrolytes into the world originally in the 1960s with the Florida Gators. And as an entrepreneur, as a founder, it's really important to me to find an idea whose time has come. I'm not here to put some magic molecule into the universe that I invented. Ketones are part of human physiology. Our bodies have made ketones for 300,000 years. What my company figured out how to do is how to ferment it, make it into a shot, make it cost effective, formulate it, and then you're able to drink it. So it's simultaneously this ageless, timeless part of human physiology. It's a really efficient molecule that you make a lot of already. What we figured out a way was to make it in a shot, and you can go to a local store and buy it. And so it's exciting. We found an idea whose time has come, and it's our job to lead the way.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to watch the evolution of the product. I mean, because the first couple iterations of it were not the best tasting product.
sir.
And now they actually taste great. Like, talk about
Well,
what guys you guys do.
that was people's first bit of feedback. Early days, they were like, whoa, that tastes interesting. And to George's point,
Yeah.
He really worked on the taste.
It was harsh. In the early days, it tasted like battery acid. I know, Brad, you were one of the very first.
You said it, not us.
Yeah, but it came out of, was it Oxford University?
Yeah, very early on, came out of Oxford
I
University.
was trying the first sort of batches of it,
Right. And we've come a long way. It's always exciting. You make your first $1 million, and if it works, you can sell something that tastes like battery acid. You can sell it to Navy SEALs and Pro Tour riders, and if it really works, people will be all right with it. Now we're broad. We're in Sprouts. We're in Equinox gyms. We're broad, and so we've developed the product to make it a much more mainstream hit.
Making a move in convenience.
Yeah,
that's the holy grail in this business. It really is.
What if energy shots could actually be good for you? I think a lot of the perception on the standard energy shot you grab at a convenience store is it works, but it's kind of toxic sludge. Whereas, and this is a lot of the research we've done with Visma Lease bike, is ketones are actually good for you. It's not just this trade off of you're getting energy, but it's bad. It's compounding daily performance benefit as well.
And those numbers, and tell us about these studies, because we talk about it every day on the show, and I think sometimes it might get lost on folks when you hear things like placebo-controlled study, trained athletes. Well, of course, we're using trained athletes, but these numbers are real, right? Average sprint power boosted by 19%, peak power 13%, fatigue being cut by 10%. I mean, we know. I mean, if those numbers said 1, 2, and 1, athletes would be interested, right? But those numbers are 19, 13, and 10. Those are real numbers.
Those are big numbers, double-digit numbers. When we first kicked off the partnership with Visma Lease bike, it was really important to them that this was not going to be a partnership where we just pay them money and they slap a logo on the jersey. They wanted to do research, and it was important that we do it with a third-party, arm's-length institution. So we work with KU Leuven, independent research university. They're the best sports nutrition researchers in all of Europe. Visma Lease bike chose to work with them. We sponsored the study and then walked away and let them do their thing. And they cooked, and they showed a lot of what we'd already seen in smaller scales and previous trial studies, that ketones are extremely effective, not only in same day performance, but they have this compounding ongoing performance benefit when you take them habitually. And the one liner that I use to describe it is very similar to the adaptation you get from altitude training. We all know altitude training really good for you, right? Like every team is going to Tenerife, whatnot, like training at camp. We're out here at Aspen. That same set of benefits you also get from ketones. So if you're doing both of your altitude training and taking ketones, you get this whole host of metabolic benefits.
I mean, we'll be ready pretty soon. We'll be ready to come back. I mean, well, 2 of us will, one of us not, but for other reasons. Hey,
I got a question.
Shit happens. What?
So how has the protocols changed? I mean, maybe we can't really discuss exactly how Visma is using them, but I feel like back in the day you'd do it before, during, after. Is it the same, or is it like what's the most effective?
That's the most common question people get.
Okay, the most effective protocol for using ketones as an athlete.
Well, can I just add to that just a bit? If you're just I don't want to say recreational athlete, but if you're somebody who trains, let's call it 5 days a week, they're an hour to 75 minutes, right? So for that, what would be an ideal protocol for them? And then if it's somebody that trains more, right? Whatever, 2 to 4 hours a day, a cyclist, like what would be their protocol? Yeah.
The way that we recommend taking it is take it before you start your ride or run, and then take it every hour ongoing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What the pros will do is they'll get really intricate on the ratio of having 3 to 1 of grams of carbohydrate to ketones. And then they'll also have it afterwards, that when you're doing recovery, your body's also still consuming energy, right? Yeah. You're rebuilding your muscles, you're repleting your glycogen, all that stuff takes energy, and ketones are really effective in that recovery phase. So for your amateur rider, they're just going to have, every third carb gel, slam a Ketone IQ as well, or to have it every hour. For the more advanced riders, they start getting more intricate on their ratios and measuring out for body weight.
Any, I'm sure you have, but any progress or any interest from sort of the big 5 in the United States, right? So football, baseball, basketball, hockey. You would think for
tennis. Are the tennis guys?
Let me say it one more time. The big 5: football, baseball, basketball, hockey. You would think for those, explosive sports. By the way, too, I mean, these guys are standing on the sideline oftentimes 3-4 hours. I would think there'd be a lot of interest from these big teams, big leagues.
Yeah. Joe Montana is an investor in our business, actually. Right. Jake Paul as well, now professional boxer. Actually rated top 15 in the world right now. we're branching out for sure. What was cool about cycling is cycling is really an index of how good is your stamina. The best person from going from A to B in terms of stamina is going to, in general, win the race. When you look at something like tennis, the person with the best stamina doesn't necessarily win, right? There's other factors.
I don't know. French Open final.
5 hour matches.
Okay,
we're
well,
talking the same as a Tour de France stage, and much more muscle damage.
Yeah, that's
So I
an
think it'd be
endurance
even
event.
more effective. And talk about like how it keeps you on top of your mental game as well, which in tennis or in cycling, it's all about not crashing and always being aware of where you're at. This has got to play a huge factor in that.
You're pushing exactly the right button.
Okay.
That cycling was a perfect sport to get started because you're measuring your watts. You can see if something has a double-digit percentage lift. A soccer player, tennis player, they're not measuring their watts. But exactly to your point, Wimbledon final, it's an endurance event. It's like a stage of the tour. And so we are pushing out. As an entrepreneur, it's about thinking, okay, how do you make your first million? How do you make your first 10 million? How do you make your first 100 million? So you got to start somewhere. I'm a marathon runner. Cyclists were the first ones to pick up ketones, like starting with these endurance sports and now branching out. And I can say we have athletes in all of the big 5 major leagues using the product, buying it regularly, shipping crates out. And more to come as we launch into more mainstream retail, sign more big athletes. As you mentioned, we just signed John Jones, the heavyweight GOAT of the UFC. So making moves for sure.
And you made a great point.
Bradley has a question about that.
Yeah, I was actually going to say,
We're gonna put you on the
where's
spot.
the ceiling with ketones? I mean, 10 years from now, how we will consume ketones in a life expectancy way and well-being.
Great question.
Constantly. I think it will be 10% of global calorie consumption. I think that ketones will be everywhere. They'll be globally distributed and people will be taking them, not just elite athletes, but broadly. You can think about how protein, for instance, when protein powder was first invented, it was the bodybuilders. But now it's, if your dad, grandparents, or whatever are 80 years old, they should be having protein to prevent age-related muscle loss. Elite athletes are a great test bed for when things really work because they're really pushing the edge of the sport, edge of physiology. But in general, we have a big study going on ketones for Alzheimer's. Ketones, the way that they interact with your brain, the way they deliver energy to your brain, the same way that keeps you dialed in the Peloton, it also can help an aging brain to have better metabolism. And so we very much don't see this as just a sports nutrition supplement. It's fun to get started in sports, but it's this broader, like everyone should be having ketones to help their mental and physical health.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
It's fascinating.
Well, before we let you go, I just have to say one more thing. And you mentioned Jake Paul. This little punk. All right, he makes a run at me on Instagram. I get it. Right, he's out for a Snoopy bike ride with his beautiful, girlfriend, fiance, wife. She's a speed skater. She's probably a good rider.
She skates for Team Visma Lease bike on the skating side.
She's legit. All right, and I'll say it again. The good looking, but you just all right. He wants to run at me. You better fill the swimming pool with ketones, and just put him in there for an hour or two. And let him drink all day.
You're talking about a bike?
You seen the run he made at me?
I did see that. Yeah. I need the man to have some motivation to get back on the bike.
Listen, you want to get me back on a bike, have that little YouTuber turned boxer popping off on the old man again. In fact, that's why I think he said that. He said, "Sit down, old man."
Well, I don't know. Does he know what a watt is on the bike? Let's see what
he doesn't know, but he doesn't care. Yeah. Right. But no. Full transparency and being completely honest, I have a hell of a lot of respect for that guy. I mean, think about it, right?
He's a kid from Ohio.
This is a YouTuber, and he is what I called him. But him and his brother, hey man, hats off. And in this back to what we said earlier, in this new way that we consume content, that they have changed the game. And nonetheless, I still want to roll up on there and kick his ass. That's all I got to say about that.
Appreciate it. Hey, congrats, guys, on #1 spot sports podcast. You got a lot going on with Wimbledon and everything else, and
the race hasn't even started.
Not easy. Hey, race starts tomorrow. I heard.
Look, I mean, we're getting into the good days for the move. So, Michael, thanks for your partnership. This is fascinating,
Michael.
And I loved where this is going. That 10-year question. That's like I said, 10-year question. Tiger by the tail. You're in charge. Let's go. Or as George says. Vamos.
Vamos.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.